Here I am. What's going on? How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing good. I hope everyone's doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome aboard, guys. Before I start, don't forget to smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel and put your notifications on. That'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Of course, let's get into some Manchester United news, shall we? It is Manchester United. It's every day is Manchester United Day, as we know, of course, guys. So, look, here we go, guys. Manchester United, of course, I spoke about yesterday about the deal for Conor Gallagher. Apparently, of course, Ben Jacobs has been speaking about Conor Gallagher. He has spoken about Conor Gallagher in regards to the most realistic option for Man United at the moment is Conor Gallagher in regards to a January deal. Now, obviously, I don't agree with just Conor Gallagher coming in. I think it would be a stopgap signing. But what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't dismiss the signing completely. I think it would be a decent addition to the squad, considering that he is an experience in the Premier League. And he can do a job for us, especially in the time when we're going to need him. Now, Ben Jacobs has spoken about potential options in regards to Manchester United, and Conor Gallagher is rife in his opinion in regards to who is the most realistic option coming into the football club. The other realistic option was Angelo Stiller. Of course, Angelo Stiller does not have any entanglements in regards to European football, and Stuttgart are not really playing for anything at the moment. So Angelo Stiller is one of those players that could possibly sign in January. It is very unlikely that Man United will be spending any money, but it is the most likely option if you're thinking about a permanent deal. The permanent deal for Angelo Stiller would be the most realistic at the moment when we're at this present time. Conor Gallagher, of course, wouldn't cost much. Wouldn't cost anything. Probably a loan fee, maybe, if we get him on loan with an obligation to buy it. Maybe a small amount of money. So this is what entices Man United. This is what attracts Man United to this type of players. So, obviously, Conor Gallagher has become a bit of a forgotten man at Atletico Madrid, isn't he? People have forgotten what he was at Chelsea, etc. Now, people who underrate players like Conor Gallagher, I don't think they really analyse the game. I know he's not a world beater. Don't get me wrong. And other players probably have a higher ceiling than Conor Gallagher. I know that. That's probably a given. At his age, it's probably a given. But I think he would do a good job for Manchester United, as would Angelo Stiller. Of course, if I had the choice, it would be Angelo Stiller coming into the football club. It would be spending 50, 60 million, bringing Angelo Stiller into the football club, because I think he will make an enormous impact at Manchester United. Absolutely, he would. And I think he's the next big German player, in my opinion, guys. Absolutely. But there are a number of options Man United are looking at. Obviously, we've spoken about João Gomez. He's another one. He's third on the list in regards to potential signings in January. There is João Gomez, who would be interested in a move to Manchester United. He would be encouraging the move to Manchester United, because Manchester United obviously are not Wolves, and obviously signing for Man United would be a big deal to unite with Cunha, of course, guys, the two Brazilian internationals, guys. So it is very, very interesting, guys, going forward in regards to Manchester United this January. Ben Jacobs speaking about the Conor Gallagher, the most realistic option. We've had, obviously, Ornstein yesterday talking about Baleba would be the choice he thinks will most likely sign for Man United, who he would choose to sign for Man United because it will be an easier deal to do, considering Baleba wants to play for Man United, etc., etc. But you know what? Obviously, Baleba is going to be at the AFCON. It's going to be a little bit difficult to get him over the line, of course. And he hasn't played well this season. So we have to take that into account as well. He's been awful and was hooked again at the weekend. So I said it at the beginning. I did say it. I said it a few times this week that the two most likely players are Angelo Stiller and Conor Gallagher. And lo and behold, Ben Jacobs has just spoken about that this last 24 hours, of course, guys. Absolutely. But yeah, look, what I would say in regards to this is that, look, I think that in January is a notoriously difficult time to do deals, but we also have to think about the likes of Liverpool, the likes of Man City, likes of Chelsea, likes of Arsenal. They may be doing deals in January as well. And we can't let any other team steal a march on us. We can't let any of these teams get ahead of us in the pack, if you know what I mean. So we have to ensure that we Ruben Amorim is back, and we are prepared for the upcoming season. Of course, the second half of the season, of course, guys. So very interesting news coming out of Manchester United at the moment. Lots of news coming out of Manchester United, not least a player that I've mentioned over the last few weeks, a guy named Javi Guerra. Now, of course, Javi Guerra is an up-and-coming Spanish player, future Spanish international, 22 caps for Spain under 21s, 2 goals, midfield. Look, Javi Guerra plays for Valencia. Very good player. Another player from a long line of great players that have come from Valencia, by the way. Juan Mata was one of them, of course, who came from Valencia. Javi Guerra is a player that I like a lot. The enticing thing about Javi Guerra is that apparently his price tag has been slashed by 50%. According to various reports, Javi Guerra has an 88 million release clause in his contract. 88 million. But Valencia would be willing to listen to offers of around 44 million, guys. So that's half price for Javi Guerra. Valencia are looking to settle the books. They've got a little bit of money that they need to pay off, of course, as many teams have these days. And Javi Guerra would be a player that can bring in some money. Manchester United are incredibly interested in Javi Guerra. However, we stopgapped that deal because obviously 88 million was a little bit too steep for him. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. A player like Javi Guerra, who's currently playing for Valencia, is worth 88 million. This is what we're talking about. I mean, every player these days is worth nearly 100 million, isn't it? And this is the problem. Every player is 100 million. But Javi Guerra, I put him in the same bracket as Angelo Stiller. I really do. I think he's a great player. I think he's a fantastic player, highly underrated as well. Only 22 years old. I think he's going to be a superstar in the future. And 44 million, it is a snip, to be honest. I think it is a snip at that price. I think it would be a great piece of business if Manchester United managed to do it. I really do, guys. Absolutely. But yeah, a number of names that I'm mentioning here, guys, and we're not going to sign all of them. That Man United are interested in them, though. And the contingency plans that we have is encouraging that we do have options that could possibly come to the fore. Now, I spoke a few weeks ago, maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, about a player called Einhorn. Einhorn, obviously, he plays for Hertha Berlin. Young 17-year-old German player. And now that is starting to get in the news as well. Another one off the Stretford Post conveyor belt, of course, of rumours. Of course, guys. So, look, Man United, I believe, will do a deal, if not 2, in January. Obviously, it does depend what happens on other players, whether other players leave, whether it's Xerxes goes, whether Mainu goes on loan, whatever happens. I believe that Man United will do deals in January. It just depends, obviously, on the context and the circumstances that we are dealt at the time. But what I would say, and what to back this up, is that Manchester United, it's not about should. It's about have to do deals. They have to do deals. If they are serious about moving Man United forward after Christmas, if they are serious about Man United qualifying for the Champions League, and hopefully we're in touching distance by then, if they are serious on Man United qualifying for the Champions League, they would back Ruben Amorim now. Because what has been the common demeanor over the last years, over various other managers? What's been the common theme here? Managers do well, and then managers don't get backed. That has been the common demeanor. That has been the narrative at Man United for the last few years, hasn't it? Come second, don't get backed. Now it's about time we change that. It's about time they went full throttle on backing Ruben Amorim and getting them the players that he wants, of course, guys. That is what it is all about, of course. But, guys, obviously, there's going to be lots of twists and turns. Lots of rumours going to be spreading around, and not least rumours that have been duplicated from various other windows as well. Of course, last summer, we had a list of players that we want. We are still interested in the majority of those players. As I said, Jarreth Branthwaite was another one that we are interested in, and we're still very interested in. He's actually got the attention of Jim Ratcliffe. Jim Ratcliffe is a big fan of Jarreth Branthwaite. As you know, we ended up getting Lenny Yoro, who I'm very, very happy with. Thank you very much. But I think Man United do need to fix that midfield. I think they do need to fix the wing-back positions and obviously a backup striker, maybe an attacker, maybe, because obviously the AFCON is coming around the corner thick and fast, of course, guys. We're already near mid-November, of course, and we're going to hit January soon. Time is flying, guys. It's very scary. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day. So Look, great news. Javi Guerra, 22-year-old Valencia centre midfielder, 88 to 44. 88 million to 44. 50% discount. There you go. Bargain hunting. That's what it's all about at Man United. Bargain hunting. And I think that will attract Manchester United respectively. Of course, guys. Absolutely. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream, guys. Don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. We need to get 50 likes before the end of the show, guys. Absolutely, we do. We need to get to 50 likes before the end of the show. In regards to Angelo Stiller, as I said, is the most likely permanent deal at the moment if we're thinking about January. That is the only one I feel, not the only one, but along with João Gomez as well. Those two players are the kind of players that Man United can do deals for in January. Those two players. When you're thinking of Anderson and Wharton, those type of players are going to be extremely difficult to do in January. Obviously, these teams, including Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest, have got their own things to do, their own problems. They've got the relegation battle. They've got European football as well. You know, so obviously they're not going to. It's going to be very difficult, should I say, to sign those players in January. And I doubt it's going to happen. But there is always options, and I would like Man United to bring in a permanent player in the midfield, because if we get a permanent player now, we get one permanent player in that midfield. In the summer, we could just bring in another one, and that'd be two. You know, we won't have to work hard and wasting time on this, wasting time on that. We should try and do business in January. I think it's a perfect opportunity to get ahead of the pack, so to speak. Man City did it effectively last January, didn't they? They spent an absolute fortune in January. And I think it is a very good thing, because when you're bringing in Reinders and Manouche and players like that, right? When you're bringing in players like that, by time it gets to, for example, the summer, those new players would already be settled. They would already be settled in the team, as opposed to bringing in the players in January, where they're going to take time to get settled in the team, obviously, which could contribute to Man United dropping points during the season and next season when the season starts, of course, guys. Absolutely. Now, Wayne Rooney has been speaking. I want to know your opinions, but Wayne Rooney has been speaking. He's spoken about ex-players that have played for Man United, that have signed for Man United, that have been superstars, right? He did say this, right? The previous recruitment was disastrous, he said Wayne Rooney. Let me just get rid of this. Was disastrous, wasn't it? They were only bringing in big names. Look at Lukaku, Zlatan, Pogba. They are good players, but it was all about signing famous names and spending huge amounts. It's going to take some time to get over those mistakes. When you look at what's happened at Manchester United over the last 10 years, some players have really suffered. Now that they've started to get some results, you can see confidence slowly coming back. You can see confidence slowly coming back. The manager needed those results as well, said Wayne Rooney. He went on to say, you can sense there's more self-belief now. Their form is gradually improving. There's clearly been progress. I think we are seeing steps forward, and the players are starting to understand each other better. I love to see Bruno Fernandes play high up the pitch. I agree with that one. There's something that's something I really like to see. January will be interesting to see if United can convince players to come in and give them the little extra boost to try and qualify for Europe or finish in the Champions League places, guys. We are slowly starting to see better signings. You have to be realistic and ask, will they win the league? No, they won't. Is it possible to finish in the top 4 or 5? We are seeing steady improvement. So I think Rooney really echoes my thoughts here. I think he really speaks a lot of truth here. In regards to the past signings, of course, and in there he is talking about Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Pogba. He actually mentions them. Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Paul Pogba, these type of players, I agree with him, because I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm not going to flip-flop from this, right? When we signed Paul Pogba and players of that ilk, you know, Ibrahimovic and players of that ilk, I'm not going to lie, that I was extremely excited. I was over the moon. I was like, my goodness me, Jose Mourinho, Paul Pogba, we're going to win the league. We're going to win the league. And you know what? But you look at things and then you realize that it's not necessarily the superstars that win you league titles, etc. It's actually the players that fit into a system and the players that are willing to give their all for the cause and for the badge. And that is what it's all about. It's all about balance as well. It's all about if they fit into the team, if they implement themselves well, their attitude, etc. Now, we brought in a couple of players here, Cunha and then Bremo. And I think their attitudes are exactly what we are looking for at the moment. And I think this is what Man United are looking for going forward in regards to signings that are going to come into this football club. We are looking at attitude. And this is something that we have forgotten about over many, many years now. When Sir Alex Ferguson retired since then. Sir Alex Ferguson notoriously would get to know the player, would get to know his personal life as well as his footballing ability. He was more focused on his attitude, what he likes to do in his spare time. Is he married? What does he eat? What's his hobbies and things like that. He was more interested in that, getting to know the person. Because I think that is very, very important. And I think we are trying to change the record like that with that at the moment. In the past, we thought, okay, we are going to bring in Pogba, we're going to bring in Schweinsteiger, we're going to bring in Cavani, we're going to bring in Falcao, we're going to bring in all these players. And fantastic players as they were. But were they Manchester United players? Were they willing to give 100% for the cause? And that is the most important thing I would say. You know, even Martial, when he came in, 50 million. You know, you may say that was a little bit steep for a player of it, you know, who we had known little about at the time, of course, guys. Now I'm seeing a change, and it's about time we made this change. And it reminds me of the England situation when England tried to fit in Scholes, Lampard, and Gerrard into the team. When we all knew England needed Carrick. England needed Carrick to add to that balance, didn't we? And this is the thing. It's not all about signing the superstars. And Jurgen Klopp spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, about he was approached by Man United when Sir Alex Ferguson was about to retire. And he was not attracted by the project because Man United were throwing out names out there, and it didn't become it didn't seem like a football project. It seemed more like a commercial project that we were trying to do, and that is exactly what Man United's problem has been over the years. Of course, we're like we lost ourselves a little bit. We lost ourselves in regards to some of these signings. We're bringing in players that are big names and they sell shirts. Absolutely, you know what I mean. We're not really signing players that sell shirts these days. I mean, name one that sells shirts at Manchester United. Not really. Yeah, I mean, and I think that's a good thing. And I think that we can move forward now and bring in players that actually suit the system. This is why I don't mind Conor Gallagher. I would love Anderson at the football club. I would love Adam Wharton at the football club. I would love these type of players at the football club because I know that they are primarily football people. They want football. They only focus on football, and that is what it's all about for them. Football. And that's what it's all about. No mercenaries, no rubbish like that. It's all about the game and winning football matches, guys. Absolutely. And that is how I feel we should go forward. And I think we are in the future, of course, guys. Absolutely. Let me just say hello to the community. Have not neglected the community, of course, guys. Hope everyone is doing well, of course, guys. Big up, Benny. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well, my guy. Hope everything is blessed with you. Good to see you, my guy. Big up, All Bars One. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing good. Big up, Sanjay again. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. Good to see you, Sanjay. Big up, Tyborg. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing good. Morning, Reds. Red Live. Born without United and proper football. Yes, we're in the nightmare scenario where we got international football again. You know what I mean? Massive games in the playoffs. There is Iraq against UAE. One of them can qualify for the World Cup. That is something over here, which is quite big, of course. But yeah, nothing compares to Premier League football and league football. Nothing really does it, at the end of the day? Tyborg, big up Tyborg. I fully support Gallagher to United in January. Options are limited in a January transfer window. So getting Gallagher would be great for us. However, I think that I say that if we really tried, we could get an Angelo Stiller. We could. If we really tried. The problem is I don't think Ineos want to spend the money. That's the problem. And this is why we needed Qatar. This is why we needed a full Sal. Because Ineos don't want to spend the money. The Glazers don't want to spend the money. And Liverpool, Arsenal and Man City will spend money. Don't worry about that. And they will go further ahead of us. And that's the concern. We can't fall further behind. We're the ones who should be going out there now and saying, we need that player, that, bring them in now. And that's it. We've got to qualify for this Champions League. Because the moment we qualify for that Champions League, the moment everything changes, because we get that 100 million from the Champions League, we get those commercial deals, and we attract a better kind of players in the summer. I would love Conor Gallagher at Man United. It would be fantastic. I'm not going to downplay Conor Gallagher, but we have to be also keep our ambitions up and do not let Ineos or the Glazers get away with this. They need to invest and they need to back Ruben Amorim because they did have a 4 out of 10 window this summer. It was not good enough. and they need to back him now. They need to back him. If we're close to those Champions League positions come December and January, given that we got the AFCON going on as well, I mean, I want to see backing from the board. That's what I want to see because I believe that Ruben Amorim deserves it. Morning, Stephen. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up, Tyro Gunner. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again, my guy. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Sal. Gallagher is good player. It would not back up for the bad up until the summer. Absolutely agree with that, Afram. Absolutely. Big up, Amir. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. How you doing, Sugar Kim? How you doing, bro? Hope you're doing well. We might as well bring back Garner. Gallagher is not as good as even. Yes, no, don't be like that, Sugar Kim. He is. He's no Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay is an attacking midfielder anyway by trade. He was a striker when he played in the youth team. But Scott McTominay is playing at Napoli. Napoli is a different proposition than the Premier League. The Premier League is different to Napoli. At the end of the day, I would take Conor Gallagher as a stopgap signing, better than nobody, isn't it? At the end of the day, it would add weight into our squad. Absolutely, guys, absolutely. And what's wrong with Garner? Garner's not a bad player either, slide digs don't really do well. It shows a lack of intelligence. Do you know what I mean? When you do slide digs, like we might as well get McTominay and Garner. What we have to do is look at football in a way that is not commercialized in your brain that, he's not a fashionable signing. He's not a signing. You have to think about what is good for Manchester United and what's good for Manchester United's squad. You know what I mean? And that is Conor Gallagher would be good for Manchester United squad. No, he's not a shirt seller. Obviously not. He's not a shirt seller, but he's a decent player. Premier League experience, fit, athletic. It would be perfect for Man United's midfield for now as a stopgap. And if it contributes, then Man United get into the Champions League. Big up, Christian. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Morning, Sal. I believe we'll get a cheap midfielder with lots of potential and maybe a winger on loan just to help Amorim out, get top four. Big up, Christian. Hope you're doing well. Ephraim, congrats to the women's team for defeating PSG, of course, in the Champions League. Congratulations to them. Smashing it at the moment, of course, guys. Absolutely. Sal, the next 5 games will tell us about the team when we expected to win. Can they perform? Exactly. This is the test now for me. The games that we're expected to win. This is the test. And after that, we can possibly go 10 games unbeaten, guys. It's a huge possibility that we can go 10 games unbeaten. Benny, Pogba station and all those players were bought in to sell shirts because the Glazer got too comfortable thinking that we'll qualify for the Champions League every year. Now we are singing the team players. I would much rather, right now, if someone told me have Paul Pogba or Conor Gallagher, bloody hell, I'll have Conor Gallagher right now. Paul Pogba can't even show up at Monaco. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, look, I want professionals at Man United. I want people, whether they're less talented, who's going to give 100% for the cause. Who's not going to get tired after 60 minutes? I want someone who's going to fight for that badge. That's what I want at the end of the day. I hope you do as well. Morning, Sal. Have you seen the links to 16-year-old Kevin Hawker? I'm really good. Dave, do you watch Stretford Post? I'm the first one who bloody mentioned it, Dave. Einhorn was mentioned by Stretford Post a week ago. And now everyone's starting to, you know what I mean, move on with Einhorn. It's actually on my thumb now from about a week ago now. Go and have a look. There's nothing passes me, Dave. There's nothing passes me. I've already said it, and people go on this channel and say, "Well, I would only listen if Ornstein says it." Yeah, there you go, guys. I mean, I spoke about Etta Young. I spoke about Einhorn. You know, I've spoken about Angelo Stiller and all these players way before, of course, guys. So, yeah, respectively. I do know about him. You don't need to ask me that question. Absolutely. Smash the likes, people. Thank you so much, Dave, anyway. Benny, another thing I've noticed is that all the leaks have stopped. Very little coming out of the dressing room. Good thing, of course. For now, of course. So that is a good thing, of course. This is what we're talking about, changing the culture at the football club. We've changed the culture at the football club, of course. So if they give Casemiro a contract, they do not learn. Look, I'll play that by ear. I'll take that with a pinch of salt. I know that is a little bit of rumors going around, but, let's wait and see. If they do give him a contract, I think it would be an absolutely bozo decision. It would be. Dave, should we be concerned about how our players are gassing out in the second half? Yet we are playing 1 game a week. It's still early in the season, but this is exactly what the thing is, isn't it? This has been like this for years, Dave. Our fitness levels are not up to the levels that they used to be. We used to have players that could run for 120 minutes plus. We're limping as well. I just don't think that some of these players really work hard enough. And look, they're talented. But you said it there. Look, they get tired after half an hour. And what do you want Ruben Amorim to do? You know, and this is the thing. Then he makes substitutions. Then the substitutions don't work. And the people go, oh, why is he making those substitutions? Because those players are not fit. Look, it's not Casemiro's fault. You know what I mean? He's getting on now. His legs are gone. His legs were gone 2 years ago. At the end of the day, you know, we have a very slow team. We don't have a team that can bust the gut, apart from Mbeumo and Cunha. We don't have like a team that can really bust the gut. And Ahmed, of course, as well. And really get forward. You know what I mean? We need to work on that fitness, definitely. Mark, good morning, Sal. Well done to the women's team last night. Absolutely. The second goal was pure quality, especially Park. She's a quality player. Respect given where it's due. I support the Manchester United team. Big up, Mark. Absolutely, we do. We support Manchester United. As Manchester United as a whole. For me, there's no women's team, there's no men's team. It's just Manchester United. And that is what it's all about for me, just Manchester United. And I'm delighted that even it's the youth team, the women's team, whoever it is, guys, perfecto. Love it. Absolutely. Adds to the culture, adds to the winning culture. And that's what Man United need. No matter what, whoever it's the women, the men, the under 21s, whoever it is, the winning culture. We need to keep that at the football club. It adds good vibes, doesn't it, at the end of the day? Big type. I would go for Eric Martel of FC Cologne, a proper number 6, 23 years old, and he is doing absolutely amazing. I'm sure he is the next big name in German football, and we can get him for cheap. Big up Tyborg. Big up Tyborg. I'm sure we can. I hope that we're scouting these players. Absolutely. Because they are cheaper. Of course, except when Man United come calling, when they find out that Man United are interested, and then the price goes astronomical high. Darren, I watched the women's team last night. They were actually pretty entertaining. I think I would start watching more. Darren, they are. They're very entertaining. Very good team. Hopefully we can transfer that to the men's team. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Mark, before the Spurs game, everyone was saying that our biggest test is now, but game is a test and we are failing slightly falling short. So we should be in top 3, but for points dropped. At the end of the day, football doesn't deal with absolutes. So Man United are unbeaten in 5 games. And it's not going to be an overnight change. There are improvements in Man United. Man United beat Liverpool away. Man United beat Brighton, which we don't do notoriously. So we are getting better. You know, the thing is, you can't win every game. My biggest concern about Man United is the fact that Man United go missing in 20, 30 minutes of second half periods. Man United go missing. And we're like, where has this come from? Why are Tottenham all of a sudden dominating us? You know, that is the problem we have to fix at Man United. We will fix it. It will take time, but this is exactly why we need different names at the football club. We need different players at the football club now. We need to move on from what has been. And I feel like things are improving, slowly but surely. They are improving. And if Man United qualify for the Champions League, I think that is the prerogative. That is the main thing that we have to concentrate on. You know what I mean? We're not going to win every game. Nobody wins every game. We beat Sunderland. Arsenal can't beat Sunderland. Do you know what I mean? That's why football doesn't deal with absolutes. You know what I mean? And that's football. And that's the Premier League. Because the Premier League is very, very difficult, you know? Cass Wade will drop 250k. There is no way he will take that offer. Become a backup. It's the same with a Maguire was 140k. And I think we need to move on, Yale. I really do. I think now we just need to move on. I think we need to move on from Casemiro, from Maguire, from Shaw, from Dalot, even from Bruno. I think Man United need to move on now. I think Man United need to think about the future. Of course, they're not going to do all of that at once. They still need the nucleus of a few experienced players in there. But I would say, yeah, look, Man United need to move on from a lot of players, in my opinion, and get some new blood in. Absolutely. Mark, this should be our last season. Maguire, Casemiro, Shaw, Ugarte, and Dalot. I agree with Mark there. Absolutely. I do. I think so. Big up, Kit Locker. What's going on, my friend? I'll be doing Nam. I couldn't call you Nam. What's going on? Morning, Devils. Many of those players were complaining about Ten Hag training when he pointed out their flow fitness level. Now the problem's still there. Exactly. And what was the stories about going home in the dark, teacher training, or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, professor, boring training, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? We know about these. We know about these games. And you know, everything is analyzed on the training field. The fitness is on the training field. I come from a generation where players used to stay behind and train. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. I mean, guys, I really do. To be fair, Shaw has a good, and he has got to be fair, Shaw has been good. No, he hasn't, mate. He's been poor. Sal, what kind of midfielder we need? A destroyer or controller? It would be nice to get both. I think Stiller's one of those who can do both. I think Stiller is a destroyer and a bring forward. And a guy who can destroy it. Absolutely. Yeah. Sure, he's only playing good because World Cup is here. He's not even playing good. He was poor against Tottenham. He was poor. Look, we can't go on this revision, this sentiments thing because he's been poor. Statistically, he's been poor. And he's slow. He's a little bit overweight, and he's only playing, as you said there, because England are playing. No, absolutely no. He's been poor, man. Got to understand what levels are. Tyborg, well done and congrats, United women's girls. Absolutely no way I will watch the women's football. Absolutely no way I will watch women's football. Tried it, seen it, and it's not for me. Your opinion, Tyborg? Absolutely your opinion. I just about get time to watch the Man United men's team. I just about get time to do that, let alone watch the women's team as well. I won't have any time for my wife. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, look, yeah. Congratulations to them. Absolutely fantastic. Building up a winning mentality, building up a culture at Manchester United. Great stuff. And that's what we can say. It's good, isn't it? You know what I mean? However, yeah, look, I think that not many people, will have time to watch all the football matches, a Man United youth team, women's team, men's team. It's very difficult to catch up with everything. You know what I mean? At the end of that, I do know people who sit there and watch every single game. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. I see our biggest challenge as a squad depth. I agree. We don't have a bench that can keep squad on the same level when changes are made for the players like Casemiro, who can only do 60 minutes. Casemiro should be on the bench. The problem is, Nam, what I would say is that Casemiro, when he plays, we're in control. But the problem is his fitness. And obviously, I would say that his age now. It's natural, isn't it? He's not going to be as potent, as great as he was at Real Madrid, for example, when he's peak. We need squad players. We need athleticism. We're lacking that. And before the substitutes were made against Tottenham, we were being dominated. Right? It weren't just we were being dominated before that. And it was just a matter of time that Tottenham scored. It was because of Senny Lamens that we didn't concede a goal. Senny Lamens made a few fantastic saves. If you remember, he made some fantastic saves. When we brought in the substitutes, and we had to make the substitutes, the quality is not there, unfortunately. And we do need squad depth. We do need players to come into this football club, fresh blood. I mean, when's the last time we actually purchased a decent midfielder? Guys, come on. When was the last time we actually purchase a midfielder that we can look to the future and say, that's our guy for 5 to 10 years. That's the guy that we need. Who was it? Carrick? You know what I mean? And I look at that. Maybe Herrera was all right. You know what I mean? Casemiro's had one good season, stuff. He's in and out. But who has been Man United's best midfield signing over the last 20 years? It's Carrick. You know, and that is the last one I think that I can actually look at and think, yeah, he's the guy. He's going to be our guy. He's going to be our guy for the next 10 years, you know? And he was almost. Ephraim. Sal, Martinez is way better than Shaw. I miss him. Yeah, I mean, sure. How are you doing, Sal? Big up, Mars. What's going on, my friend? I'm very well. Good to see you. Look, Luke Shaw. I don't trust Luke Shaw. This is the problem, isn't it? And this is the problem. I don't trust Luke Shaw. Fair play to Luke Shaw. He's got himself fit. Fantastic stuff. He's fit. It's great. But I just don't trust him. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I don't trust Luke Shaw to take us forward. I really don't. And he's been there too long as well. He's been there. He's sacked multiple managers. He's been there whilst those managers have been sacked since 2014 under Louis van Gaal. He's been there. You know what I mean? Old Luke Shaw, on the crutches and that. Look, I understand Luke Shaw had a terrible injury. It was awful injury. One of the worst I've ever seen, right? Behind David Boost, right? And I would say that... it's been 11 years now, and we can't keep sentiments with these players anymore. Serial failures. They're serial failures. I don't trust them. I don't. Because they got the Brentford game. They got the Man City game in their locker, in their armory. They've got that. They've experienced that. They've experienced things like that, defeats like that, more than they've experienced success. And this is why I would like to bring in Aiden Heaven, play Aiden Heaven. Aiden Heaven is good enough. Aiden Heaven is going to be an England international. I think he's generational. We were talking about Aiden Heaven potentially being world class next, in the future. Last year, we need to play Aiden Heaven more, in my opinion, definitely. And I think Everton would be a great game to play Aiden Heaven in. Absolutely. Tybo, if we manage to properly rebuild our midfield, we will be fully back. But for that, we need 3 midfielders, at least 1 in January and 2 in the summer. I think, I think what Man United need to do, they need to bring in, obviously, we will lose Collier. I think we lose Casemiro. We may even lose Bruno. Who knows? But, I wouldn't take the risk on waiting for Bruno. I would sign players. I agree. Man United need backup as well. This is the thing. Maybe we need 2 first-team midfielders, i.e., for example, argument's sake, Angelo Stiller and Anderson, Adam Wharton, Angelo Stiller, and players like that. And then we need a player like, for example, Milton Delgado or a young player of that ilk, or Einhorn, like what we were talking about earlier, and someone who can come in the future, at the end of the day. A Ruben Neves, a João Gomez, these type of players. Do you know what I mean? And I think that building a squad is very important for Man United. Squad depth is so important, and we don't have it at the moment. We're threadbare. We're threadbare in our squad. Our first team is great. Take a couple of players at that first team. You've seen it yourself against Tottenham, against other teams, against Brighton as well. You've seen what happens. You take a couple of players out that team. You see what happens, don't you? Lawrence, big up, Lawrence. What's going on? I hope you're doing well. And Jess Park is turning out to be the Messi of women's football. A pocket dynamo and great dribbler. Absolutely. Can she play for the men's team? Big up, Lawrence. Big up, Nam. Our starting lineup has Shaw, Casemiro, Aguirre, Dalot in it. And when they are out of the team, we go to Ugarte, Licha injured, Mazraoui injured, Dorgu doing well, but the depth is very, very shallow. I agree with Nam here. Very balanced. I like that. Very balanced opinion there. Kit Locker Norm, absolutely. I agree with that because, there is some talent, obviously. Dorgu, I think he's done pretty well, of course. But we don't have any ready-made players to come in. And this is exactly why I was talking about Conor Gallagher. I know a lot of people don't like Conor Gallagher. A lot of people do like Conor Gallagher. But what I would say is that, Conor Gallagher would be a great squad addition. So bringing on Conor Gallagher in the second half rather than bringing Ugarte. I don't know what's happened to Ugarte. I don't know what's happened to him. When Ugarte was at PSG, when he was at Sporting Lisbon, Ugarte was an absolute baller. He was tackling, he was tracking back. He had some of the best stats in Europe. I'm not a stat guy, but to the eye as well, he's a very, very good player. And I don't know what's happened to him. Since he's been at Man United. He just seems like he's in his shell a little bit. He's a little bit passive. I don't know. But Man United can't rest on their laurels. And Man United can't wait for players 2-3 years for players to get good. We need it now. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why Man United need to bring in some players. And it is bring in some squad players that can contribute to us, this season. Because we got a great opportunity, guys. A great opportunity, to actually qualify for the Champions League. A great opportunity. And we have to seize that opportunity. And by doing that is by backing Ruben Amorim, in my opinion. Park is one of the best women I've ever seen, but she is a left wing back. We've also amazing the whole team. Big up, Darren. Why do all our Mozart signings always drop levels so drastically? I think that's changing, to be honest, Kit Norm, because I'm looking at Ruben Amorim's signings, and I think Ruben Amorim's signings are doing pretty well, apart from obviously Sesko's still settling in, but that's expected for a striker, only 22 years old, yet he has made an impact at Man United. The Chelsea win was big part of him. You remember the assist against Brighton as well, 2 goals as well on top of it. So I don't think Sesko's done as badly as the media would like you to think. However, Cunha, I think he's done well for the team. His stats haven't been great, but he's done well for the team. In Bremer, I think he's been a signing of the season. I think De Ligt has been absolutely fantastic. I think Dorgu's coming into his own. I think we are changing. We are changing. I do believe we are changing. And hopefully that goes forward with all the next signings that we make as well. I hope so. Do you know what I mean? And Bremer has been a breath of fresh air. Bremer. Now, guys, there is a lot of arguments with Chelsea fans saying that they have a better attack than us. If Chelsea could swap in Bremer and Cunha right now, they would swap them in a heartbeat. The only player I look at Chelsea in their attack is Cole Palmer. That's the only player. I would not swap any of those players at Chelsea for any player at Man United up front. I wouldn't. I don't want Delap. I think Sesko's better than Delap. I don't want none of these players. You know what I mean? At the end of it. That's so I would say look, Chelsea fans, I was on the stream yesterday. I was on the stream with Mo, and we were talking about obviously Chelsea's attack, better than Man United's attack, rah. Do you know what I mean? And Chelsea fans are delusional. Be it delusional. I think maybe Ugarte needs to play different defensive midfield with 2. Yeah, but you can't sacrifice the tactics for him. He's got to play well. You know what I mean? If you're not good enough to play in a one-man defensive midfield position, I don't think he should be playing for Man United, unfortunately. Ugarte will be relatively good in the beginning at United, but lately he is in a heavy downfall, wrong passes, wrong positioning, looks completely lost. I don't understand what has happened to him. I don't understand. Obviously, look, what I would say is that it is difficult, Tyborg. I like to look at things objectively, Tyborg, and I'd like to think of things on a human level as well. It is difficult when you're being taken at the team, brought into the team, taken at the team, brought into the team. However, I'm not going to flip-flop from what I said yesterday, is that when you get on the pitch, make something happen. As I said, whether it's a crunching tackle, a clearance off the line, an assist, a goal, a header, whatever it was, a clearance, anything, make something happen. Give Ruben Amorim a decision to make. I'm just not seeing it at the moment, Tybo. I'm not seeing anything at the moment that makes me think, yeah, he's that guy. He was better in his first season. He was better last season as well. Run a poll, Sal. Keep Sell or keep Ugarte. I've already got a poll running. I don't know if I can do 2 polls. I'm not sure if I can do 2 polls. Let me see. All right, let's have a look at this. Guys, don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. Please don't forget to smash a like, you absolute legends. Guys, don't be a fraud. Smash a like, of course, guys. Thank you so much, everyone who is continuing to smash a like on the channel, guys. Really appreciate that, of course, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. So Africa is my most viewed 50 votes. Africa is the most popular who are viewing me today, who have smashed the like. Asia and the Middle East, North America is only 10%, 35% in Europe, and 12% in there. Let me do another poll, guys. I'll do a poll for my community. Of course I go. Of course I would. So I'll end this poll. I'll end poll. Okay. And let me do let me do keep or sell Ugarte. Okay. Keep, sell. Let's put a loan there. There we go. I've done it. And big up everyone from Africa who's tuning in to me today, guys. You're absolutely legends, of course. Ugarte will surprise everyone. Big up, my friend. I hope so. That's all I can say, of course. I won't sell Ugarte yet. I believe there is a player in there. I believe so as well, Tyborg. I believe there's a player in there. I think there is. I do look at circumstances. I do look at the problems, obviously, in squad, getting enough football and stuff like that. Absolutely. And they won the poll, Darren. I've started a new poll in regards to Ugarte. Big up everyone from Africa, wherever you're from. Big up the Africa and African nations coming up very soon, as we know. Of course, hopefully I'll be doing some watch-alongs of that, of course, guys. Absolutely. So hopefully I will be doing some watch-alongs for the African nations very soon, especially Cameroon against Ivory Coast. I'm looking forward to seeing Ahmad and Embremo go head-to-head. Of course, that's going to be fun. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that should be fun, of course. But yeah, look, guys, what I would say is that football doesn't deal with absolutes. And I've always said this. Football doesn't deal with absolutes. People tend to look at things on the extreme. I like to look at things in the middle. Do you know what I mean? Just look at things in the middle and look at things from both sides of the equator. Why is he not playing well? Why was he playing well? But what has happened this season? And I would look at that. Absolutely. I don't think we are rotating our squad effectively as much as we should, but I understand why Ruben Amorim is in the position that he's in, because obviously he's just there to get results at the moment, solidify our position in that top 5. And obviously after that, then we can start bringing in players, including young players, in an environment that is going to be a lot more giddy. It's going to be a lot more positive than the environment is now, that we still have certain mental problems in the team in regards to basically letting leads slip, etc. Nam, what's going on? If we could make some good money off Mainu, do you sell him or to invest in Anderson and Baleba and Walton? I wouldn't buy a Baleba at the moment. It would be low on my list. I wouldn't splash money. It would be an astronomical risk at the moment, considering he's not played well all season and it's getting hooked quite often at Brighton. We have to look at players like, obviously, Anderson, Wharton, of course, Angelo Stiller, of course, Yavi Guerra, Yori Giza, Lamine Kamara, Agume. These players who are currently playing well, we need to look at these players, in my opinion, and I think that Baleba, I hope he picks it up. I really do, because I liked him last season. And I thought he was fantastic last season. But you know what? It's exactly what happened at Brighton with Evan Ferguson, isn't it? People were comparing Evan Ferguson to Wayne Rooney at one point. They were comparing Evan Ferguson to Wayne Rooney. And then obviously the decline happened. The decline happened. And then, you know, everything just went off. I don't know why. Yale, I don't see Ugarte picking himself up. He has been at fault with a lot of goals against us. We need a DM we could trust. Would want to be third and maybe fourth. Choose DM. I think Kone is about to skip him. Remains to be seen, guys. Remains to be seen. First team football is obviously a lot different to youth football. 5 likes away from 50, guys. Guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to smash a like, you absolute legends. Thank you so much to everyone. And guys, I want to say thank you to everyone who joined me on Hussam's channel yesterday, guys, and those who joined me on Mo's channel as well. I was a busy guy yesterday. I had 4 streams yesterday, but thank you, everyone, guys. I got a little bit tired in the end, but yeah, look, really appreciate everyone who joined me for that, of course, guys, representing Manchester United, of course. And I hear a whole lot of nonsense from a lot of rival fans, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. But you know what? I hold it with chest, Man United with chest. Every single time, guys, I will hold it. I will not downplay Man United. I will not downplay Man United's expectations. I will not slander my football team to get an elevate in this game. Absolutely not. That's not me. Tyborg. Amram forcing the players to approach the fans and give them autographs before and after the game is a sign Amram understands the culture problems at United. Small things, but yeah, absolutely, Tyborg, and you're absolutely spot on here. You know, Tyborg, what I would say is that when Man United used to go to games, you remember we always used to wear suits, and it was as Alex Ferguson said it, isn't it? It's the small details. When you're going to play football, you go to play football like it's your job. It's your job. You go in a suit. And I don't like seeing players coming off the coach with their headphones, with their tracksuit buttons, half down, low batty, this and that. I don't like seeing that. I want to see the players in the suit ready for war. I want to see those players ready to fight for the cause. You know what I mean? I would say. And I would say that I absolutely agree with that. I think that the little things like signing autographs, it means a lot to me. I know that there's a lot of players that get frustrated. I hate it. I hate that, because at the end of the day, you get paid in 1 week what someone would earn in 10 years, right? That is the difference. You see how hard they work. I'm sure they would swap signing a few autographs. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I don't want to hear any moaning about signing autographs. And I agree. This has been a cultural problem over the years. We've seen Marcus Rashford and Mainu, flip the bird at fans. You know what I mean? Flip the bird. I'm not going to do it. I obviously have to incriminate myself. But flip the bird at fans. Whether you mean it in jest, whether you mean it as a joke, whether you mean it seriously, it's a no-go. You don't flip the bird at Man United fans, whether you agree with them or not, and that's been the cultural problem. Try and make friends. Try and sign some autographs. Try and take some photos. There's no harm in it at the end of the day. And that's exactly right. The culture problem, that is one of the cultural problems. We need to understand who is this football club. It's a big part of this football club, if not the biggest part of this football club, is the fans. It's the fans. It's the fans that keep this football club running at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? It's the fans that the reason why Jim Ratcliffe has a platform like this. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. I just hope that stupid international break doesn't claim any of our players. We're already low on players. I agree. I'm tired of it. I don't know why we keep getting so many international breaks these days. It's ridiculous. Wrong timing. Everything. But I'm very worried about the AFCON. Obviously, the pitches over there. I'm very concerned about it. You know, of course, I don't want any injuries to Embremo and Armour. Touch wood. Hopefully, we don't get any injuries, and hopefully, everything's hunky dory. But yeah, this international break is always a concern. It does fill you with a little bit of anxiety, doesn't it? You know, because all our players go on international duty, and many of our players are. I think all of our players are on international duty, apart from the younger players. And I think that, yeah, you always have this worry that someone's going to come back with a nick or like a knock or a pulled hamstring or something like that. Do you know what I mean? I really hope so, my friend. I really do. LT, big up LT. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. I think Utaza has lost confidence, and I've seen him when he plays well. Me too. And when he does, he can protect in midfield and not bad at carrying the ball. But he needs to find himself again. Yeah, it's very difficult because you're absolutely right, LT. But you can spiral out of control. If you don't get control of it, you can spiral out of control. You can do that. And the problem is that Man United don't have much strength in depth. So obviously, if it's not Casemiro, it's Ugarte. That's it. And I think we need more strength and depth. So we can try different collaborations in the midfield. And as I said there, I said it earlier, it takes a crunching tackle. It takes a goal. It takes an assist to reignite something in you. You know what I mean? And, and give the manager something to believe in and the fans something to believe in as well. We all rate Ugarte. I remember when we were linked to Ugarte a year or two ago. I remember we were linked to Ugarte. We were fighting for Ugarte. Let's get Ugarte in the team. Let's get Ugarte in the team. You remember? We were fighting for Ugarte, and we knew Ugarte was a great player. Even Ruben Amorim has said he don't recognize Ugarte at the moment. He doesn't recognize him. What's going on with Ugarte? What's wrong with you? You're not the player that I managed at Sporting Lisbon. You know? So what has happened? He has to find himself, absolutely, LT. Players today are far more focused on dressing fancy and wearing Gucci bags and Beats earphones. Yeah, look, this is exactly what it is. This is why I will always debunk the argument that football's harder these days. Football's better these days. It's absolute myth. It's not true. Football's not. Football has regressed in a huge way, in my opinion. They're too busy. They're rich too soon. A lot of these players, before they've even kicked the ball, sign a contract and they're getting a lot of money on that signing on contract, that signing on fee. People don't even know about the signing on fee. They get a signing on fee, and by the time they know it, they've already earned more than the average Charlie would earn in bloody a year. You know what I mean? And this is what we're talking about. Efred, Sal, you cooked Wolfie. You are excellent representative. Thank you so much, Efren. Thank you so much, my friend. Really appreciate you, my guy. Really appreciate you. But yeah, Wolfie tried to score me a couple of times. He did, but that's fine. That's football. I love it. I love the football banter. I don't like arrogant, pompous people. I thought Wolfie was really good. I don't like people like, I went on Mo's stream and there's people a bit too pompous. They're a bit too, you know what I mean? And if I find it difficult to communicate with people who are not real football. I'm a real football fan. I'm a salt of the earth football fan. Do you know what I mean? Who's been to like 500 games to 1,000 games, guys. And, I've been around the world watching my football club. And, I actually love the game and study the game. And, I listen to people and they're like, they speak on a level of narratives and favoritism in regards to their generation and recency bias and stuff like that when they didn't see real football and stuff like that, in my opinion, Cunha is such a special human being. Watched a show yesterday where he did a day in the life of Cunha. Yes, showing his full day highlights. Love him, man. Love him. I think he's been so highly underrated this season so far. Definitely. Absolutely. Kitler, 100%, absolutely right. But I see some changes lately. It seems like we are slowly moving away from this haircut and dressing room culture. You don't see it. No, in fact, I agree, mate. And I this is why I'm so pro Ruben Amorim. Because he's concentrating on those things that mean a lot to this football club. We have to understand what we are, who we are, where we came from in regards to the historical value of Manchester United, the adversity of Manchester United. We have to understand this. And we've lost this somewhat in the last decade or so. We've lost this. And we have to start regaining who we are. Start saying like, we're bloody Man United. Let's go out there and let's try and do something. I spoke yesterday. I said, look, we may not win the league this season, but let's set us up to challenge for the league next season. There's no reason why we can't do that, right? If Ruben Amorim is backed, of course. I'm not going to be unrealistic here, but he has to be backed as well. But what I would say is that, we have to look at Man United and say, look, there's many things. We've lost our way. We've lost ourselves, and what made us great? What made us different? What made us hated? You know what I mean? And because we were better in every single aspect. We're not anymore. And I actually agree. We are starting to change now, which is great. That's fantastic news. We're starting to change now. Ruben Amorim is changing it. And people won't look at that from the outside because people are stat merchants. They look at stats and they don't look at anything else. I do see that. And I do think it's the small margins that make a difference. I really do. I agree with everyone who's talking like that because this is music to my ears. It's music to my ears when I hear people talking about it because it's so important. Professionalism. Why do I go to work, whether I'm working as a doctor or I'm working as a security guard? Why do I have to go to work in a tie? Why? But why do these players who are representing millions, if not 1 billion around the world, can't go to work playing for Manchester United looking like they mean the part. Look, they mean business. Do you know what I mean? Why do they have to come off the pitch, low batty, headphones in, one headphone, like this, like this, like this? We don't want that. That's not what happens at Man United. You come in, you represent Man United. We are the Busby Bays, guys. You know what I mean? Let's not forget that. You know what I mean? And let's not forget what shoulders these players are standing on. Never forget that. Absolutely. Big up, Tyborg. Nam, do we have any psychologists at the club who can work on players' mental state? We did, I think. I think they got removed. If it is picked up, they have some problems to help they overcome their issues. But I think we had it, but it wasn't working. England had it. I think Man United had it, but I think that Jim Ratcliffe removed it. It was the psychologist was removed. They were one of the people who got removed from the football club on the cutbacks, of course. Big up. Amram comes from a team where the fans abused the physicality for playing crap, so he understands that the players need to connect with the fans, and these players need cultural discipline of Man United. Exactly. Understand who is paying your wages. There was only a snippet during the COVID season of what football would be like without fans. What football would be like in the stadiums. It's not the same, is it? Respect the fans. The fans who travel. We have some of the best fans in the world, especially the away fans at Man United. Absolutely phenomenal. I believe they are the best fans in the world. I really do. The away fans at Man United are just absolutely incredible. You know, and they need respect. Play like you mean it. Play like you mean it. And don't give in. It's only 90 minutes, guys. Some people go to work. Doctors, nurses, firemen. They go to work for sometimes 15, 16 hours a day. You know, they go out when it's dark. They come home when it's dark. You just have to play for 90 minutes, train a few times a week, earn your big money. That's all you have to do and play for the greatest club in the world. It's fantastic, isn't it? It's easy if you got it. Appreciate it. I just don't think that a lot of players these days understand the value. They don't understand the value of life. And as I said, I'll give you a story about a player called Aaron Lennon. Now, Aaron Lennon was an ex-Tottenham player, and he was preparing for a wedding of his friend. And my friend, who worked with me at the time, funny enough, his name was Aaron as well, but we'll call him A. We call him A. He was going to the wedding as well. And basically, my friend wanted to find a suit for the wedding. And Aaron Lennon, the footballer, went with my friend to find a suit for the wedding. And basically, they went to this obviously suit shop, this store. I don't know what the store was, but it was a suit shop in the central London. I think it was Oxford Street or Bond Street, something like that. And then basically, my friend saw a suit. The suit was 900 English pounds, right? 1,000 euros, right? And basically, my friend said, I can't afford that. I can't afford that suit. So Aaron Lennon, the Tottenham player, said, you can't afford 900 pounds. You can't afford 900 pounds. What? He couldn't fathom. He couldn't understand how my friend couldn't afford 900 pounds. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Because that, for some people, is nearly a month's wage. You know? 900 pounds, Aaron Lennon probably earned that in what? 3 hours? I mean, this is the difference. They don't understand the value of money. They don't understand how hard it is for people, you know. And those people who spend this hard-earned money going to see Man United here, going to see Man United there, around the world. Like I've been around the world watching Man United. I know how expensive it is. I know how tiring it is. I know what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, I don't think they say they do. I don't think they quite understand it until they've lived it. It's incredibly difficult to sacrifice yourself to support your football team. Of course, it's a joy, but it's very hard as well. It's expensive, you know, and tiring. Especially when you work 12 hours, night and days and stuff like that. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to fly off to, let's say, Lyon, right? Get a coach to Manchester first overnight, fly off to Lyon, right? Land in the city centre with the fans, right? Watch the game, the evening kickoff in the Champions League. Straight after the game, fly back to Manchester, get another coach all the way back to London, go home, quickly have a shower, go to work. There's a big difference, isn't it, of understanding. Thank you so much, Ephraim. You absolute legend. You're an absolute blessing, my guy. Thank you so much. Nam, even Amram stepping outside Carrington, signing autographs, taking photographs, receiving bracelets and buck hats. But yeah, big up, my friend. A wonderful return for love with a pure. I mean, and you know what it is, Nam? It's genuine as well. It's really genuine, you know. And on a human level, the guy's a diamond. We're lucky to have him. I'm telling you. People think that another manager is going to come in, another manager is going to change the narrative, etc., 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 and it's not going to happen. Absolutely. Tybog, these things like haircut and dressing code was completely unknown and important in the 90s. Sometimes I feel sorry for the young fans because they can't experience how it was before. They don't understand about it. The thing is, they don't understand what real life is. The players don't. They don't understand what we are, what you have to do to represent this football club. You know, if I go to a meeting today, I'm not going to go dressed like even this. I'm not going to go like looking like casual. I'm going to make an effort. That's what you should do every single time for Manchester United. Every single time you should make an effort. Absolutely. Big up Milton. What's going on? Can the training and coaching of the players be increased? Each opponent analysis may be in depth. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Some of these players are over 30 years old. They're not going to improve. I mean, I'm talking about Dalot, Shaw, Maguire, Bruno to an extent, Casemiro, Mason Mount, Ugarte to an extent. I just feel like you can make them play better sometimes, perform better. Don't think you can make them better players. Maybe pick up their fitness. Maybe. So it cost me €700 to visit a game at Old Trafford. It's money and time consuming, mate. Tybo, it's difficult, mate. It's typical. It's you know, people don't understand this, right? Even I come from London, so I used to go and see Man United from London. Even London, it was difficult. And let me give you an example, right? I used to go to London Euston. It was St Pancras now, but it used to be London Euston. And I used to go up on the train up to Manchester. And it's £60 just to go up there and see Man United, right? Return. But what used to happen, when the Champions League draws were being made, etc., right? The prices used to go like that. They used to go, boof, £100, £150, if not more. And this is what we're talking about. You know what I mean? And it used to be difficult. And after the Champions League games, no one knows how to sit in Manchester Piccadilly for 5 hours in the freezing cold, waiting for the 1 a.m. train to go to Leeds, then go to Nottingham, then go to Sheffield, then get Sheffield to London. People don't know that, do they? They don't really see that side of things in regards to. They just see the glitz and glamour, don't they? Big up Ephraim. Benny, going over next week, bring my daughter for her first. Oh, yeah, I remember that. All I had to say is it will cost her €1,500. Bloody hell. It's gone even more expensive now, Benny. It really has. It really has. I used to meet a lot of people from Ireland, especially on the train. And I used to speak in depth to people from Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland. And I used to get really good conversations. I used to see people who used to go there week in, week out. You know, there was actually one guy that I used to meet who used to see Man United 3 times a month, and he comes from New York. You know, and he used to see Man United 3 times a month. I mean, you think about it and you think, wow, the effort levels, the commitment levels are absolutely astonishing. They really are, guys. Where are you from? I think it's Ireland. Ireland. Sligo Rovers, of course. I've been watching channels discussing Amram's first year, and all they did is talk about bad results for getting the main thing and change his mentality, mate. They're never going to change their narrative, mate. I would say that right now. They've already made their mind up, even though they may pretend that they're changing their stance in regards to Ruben Amorim, especially over this last 5 games. Their ego and their delusion will not stop them from having their opinion about Ruben Amorim and feeling bitter about Ruben Amorim, because in general, they're not really United fans. They're fans of their opinion. And that's what it is at the end of the day. They will not mention context. They will not mention the problems that this football club that came soon as Ruben Amorim walked into this football club. They will not mention that. You know, I'm seeing people talking about tactics. As soon as we draw against Tottenham, the tactics conversation starts coming out of nowhere, doesn't it? When that's already been flawed. You don't have bad tactics and go to Anfield and win. In the league with a proper Liverpool team, you don't do that at Anfield. You know, and that's what we're talking about. You don't beat Chelsea. You don't beat Sunderland, and look at Sunderland doing it. You don't smash up Brighton if tactics are the issue. Stephen, get Stiller, Gomez and Anderson. Big up once Real Madrid. Real Madrid want Wharton, but that's nothing is clarified at the moment. But Real Madrid are interested in Wharton and Stiller. So we're going to have to work out. But Real Madrid don't only get one. They are looking to revamp the midfield, guys. Guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me today. You absolute legends. Again, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Whether we agree or not, I really appreciate you all for coming in this morning. And some love. Really appreciate it. I will be back later on for Chatterboxer, guys. Don't forget to join me for that. Also, guys, don't forget to smash a like. Let's try and get to 100 by the end of today. Let's try and do that, guys. And also, don't forget put your notifications on in case I go live if anything happens. Guys, and thank you for supporting me on all platforms. Really appreciate you. Absolute legends, guys. And I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. I shall see you guys later on today on Chatbox. Take it easy. Peace.